So let's talk about taking action. Probably by now you have finished the chapter, and I hope that it served you well. And I think you can tell by now that I'm pretty passionate about the things that were included. Everything that was included in that chapter, I actually did do. I did throw spaghetti at the wall and just tried to see what would stick because I knew that I had behaviors. I knew that I had thought processes. I knew that I had some things that needed to change. And I knew that I needed new pathways, new activities. I needed new things to be brought into my life to give me some inspiration. And those were the things that I found helped me. So you know this. You know this because you read the chapter. What you might not know was that I didn't realize until years later that those things were actually going to serve me in a completely different way than I thought they were. I thought that those actions, those things that I put my energy into were actually going to be the thing. I thought that every time I read a book, every workshop that I went to, every conversation that I had where I worked things out, I believed that at some point, one of those things was going to fix me, that was going to be the nugget that I needed for the journey, that I was finally going to walk away loving myself completely and fully because I read a book or I listened to a podcast. That did not happen. What I didn't realize until a little bit later was that it was actually all of those things were building a foundation that I didn't even know that I was going to need. And that's crazy because after going through everything that I went through and putting my time and energy into rebuilding and changing and shifting my perspective on things, I finally came to the conclusion that I needed to leave my marriage. And basically, what I did was throw a bomb on everything that I knew. And when you throw a bomb on everything that you know, you're also throwing a bomb on any foundation that you had relied upon previously. And when I did that, I had this, of course, this perfect picture of how that was going to go. I was going to leave. Life was going to be amazing. It was going to be filled with freedom and with friendships and new ideas and inspirations and this whole new life where I, of course, got everything I ever wanted. And that's not quite how it worked out. Shocker, right? What I did not see coming was a 7 month long, very, very deep depression where I could barely get out of bed. And I didn't see it coming because I knew that I wasn't going to regret my decision. And I thought that you only went through things like that when you had regrets. I did not regret. But what I did have was a need to mourn. And that's what I didn't see coming. And I can't believe I didn't see that coming. And I was so shocked that I had to go through that. But it makes sense. And it was completely necessary because I was mourning a version of myself that could no longer exist. I was mourning a relationship that I really believed was going to last forever, and it just didn't. I was mourning a family dynamic that now had to be rebuilt in a different way. And in a way, I've never been in this situation before, so I wasn't sure how to rebuild this, but it needed to be rebuilt. And so it was mourning an entire life of safety, security, um, a foundation that I had relied upon for almost 2 decades. And in addition to that, I closed a business that I had opened and nurtured and grown along with my now ex husband. And there went my security and a massive creative outlet that I had relied upon for, again, almost 2 decades. And so now that was gone too. And so here I was, completely floundering. And for the next 3 years, which by the way, I'm still in, I'm just at the tail end of it now, thank goddess. But for the next 3 years, I found that I needed space, time. I needed to be able to go within. And I would never have been able to do that had I not engaged in the activities that I engaged in previously, all the things that are inside this chapter. What I didn't understand was that all of those things, while they did not lead me to the promised land, they were actually building a new foundation that I was going to desperately need as a soft place to fall for the next couple of years. Because of that foundation, I was able to replenish myself. I was given time to replenish and rejuvenate. I was given time to step back from the world and figure out what in the actual hell was going on with my life. And that was a gift that I don't know that I can express enough gratitude for. So, moral of the story is this: take the time, put in the effort. It really is worth it. Because even if what you think is happening is not what's happening, there's no downside, you guys. There's no downside to learning more, to gaining more wisdom, to gaining one more nugget of knowledge. It is like a tiny little brick inside of your being that is helping you, helping to nudge you along into a place in your journey that you actually want to be. So, and I said this in the book and I'll say it again, it's never one thing. It's never one conversation, one journal entry, one workshop, one magical conversation. It is not ever one thing. It is all of those things all of the time, consistently. And then you find out where you are when all of that has sort of settled, when that foundation has settled, where are you? And I can guarantee you that you're going to be standing on top of something that is strong, something that you can rely on, and even more beautifully, something that you built yourself. So take the time, take the effort, and put that energy into yourself. You will not regret it. And I guarantee your future self will thank your present self exponentially and infinitely.